Hi, I'm Dennis Steigerwald, President of the Housing Innovation Alliance, and I'm here with Betsy Scott to tell you all about our working group sessions. How you doing, Betsy?
I'm great, thanks.
All right, let's get right into it. So our working groups are an opportunity to really bring those carefully curated table conversations from all our live events into a virtual environment so that we can develop actionable conversations, create the tools and resources that our community needs. Why are you so excited about these events, Betsy?
I really think it's a great opportunity. We when we pull the working groups together, we pick initially 10 to 15 people who we think are very have expertise in the areas that we're very interested in moving innovation forward in those areas. So it's really a robust conversation. We find a lot of other connections that we can bring to the table through those conversations. We find out what people are actually trying to do and how we can really help them. So rather than just hosting an event on a topic, we can figure out what's their end in mind and how can we help deliver that through our programming. So I think it's a really unique opportunity.
Yeah, fantastic. So speaking of programming, so we touched on these working groups and go into a number of different areas throughout the course of the year. We started this at the end of last year as part of our annual innovation summit by digging into the industrialized construction. That's evolved over time, and I know we'll explain a little bit more about how we've packaged that up and how we engage with our community. But why don't you walk us through some of these key themes at a high level?
Okay. Well, I won't go into the detail because there's a lot written here, and we'll make this available to everyone. But really, it's split into two sections. Overall, we look at the future of housing. We spend about 20% of our time thinking about what's going to happen in the next 10 years, just to make sure that we're ahead of the curve. And that's really what we call the future of housing bucket. And it's kind of all encompassing and can touch some of the other areas, but it's more forward looking. And then everything below the line is how can we help drive innovation and adoption in the next 3 years? And if you've been part of our community, you'll notice some of these topics are things that we've been talking about for a while. And then some of them are just surfacing this year, like more of a focus on labor, specifically as an area, and the supply chain and resiliency. So those are a bit new for us. But this is really kind of the spread, and we started, as you said, industrialized construction late last year, and then we've been rolling these out starting in 2021.
Right on. So I know we're going to get into the technology platform that allows us to create a digital portal for all of the working group members to actively engage with one another. But before we get into that, I just want to remind everyone that if you would like to join one of the working groups, you can visit our website, fill out the registration form, and then Betsy and I will review the analysis and be able to come back to you with which working group we think you're best suited for.
Absolutely. So you mentioned the portal. We, having 15 or 20 people connecting, we've received a lot of information from people, research studies they've done, articles they see, and we know everybody's inboxes get really jammed with information. So we wanted to create an opportunity where there was actually a place for people to go to connect online with their working group. And then if they missed something, they weren't able to attend a meeting or a related event that we had, just making all of that information more accessible to them in one spot. So that's really the idea of the SharePoint sites.
All right, Betsy, so take us through one of these working group sites.
Sure. This is the Rethinking Labor website. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail. I think it's best if you have access to this or one of our other sites to go explore it yourself. But just at a high level, on the homepage, any of the latest and greatest content that we have here is all linked. Whether it's a video or a document that we want you to review, this one actually asks the group to review it directly in the system. It's a shared document, kind of like a Google document, right from the homepage. And then we've also had a lot of people say that they're stalking each other on LinkedIn once they join the working group to get to know the working group members better. We're making that a little easier for you on the homepage as well. Now, everybody's photo will be here as soon as they've logged in. We have to wait for that process in order to upload it on their behalf. But you can see, you could go directly to, if you're interested in talking to Branka Minich from Building Talent Foundation, you can go directly to her contact information here. And you can also There's also a tab that you can click on and see her LinkedIn. So you don't even have to leave this site to see that information. So that's super useful. And then just two of the main sections at the top, vision and notes, is where we put any of our planning documentation or any of our meeting agendas or meeting notes, just so that's easy. And probably the most valuable section is resources. So all of the things that you see here are also linked in the resources section. But you can upload a document yourself as well if you want to. And there's also the ability to add a link to an article that you see on the web. So rather than crowding each other's emails, we can just post all of this stuff and share it here. And then you don't have to worry about it getting lost later when you're trying to find it.
Yeah, this is great. So this is a perfect example of a crowdsourced intelligence platform on each of these key topics. As we mentioned earlier, happy to have everyone join us in these working groups as your expertise best fits. Please sign up on the website through the online portal, and we'll be happy to get you slotted in. Thanks, Betsy, for this overview. Really appreciate it.
Yep, look forward to connecting with everyone.